Good day everyone, we are the group 2. We will be present or tackle the three kinds of graphic materials, the drawing or illustrations, charts, and diagrams. So, what is graphic materials? Graphic materials are used to express ideas in lines, pictures, sketches, and diagrams, and to inculcate facts and ideas clearly and succinctly through a combination of drawing, words, and pictures. So, we use graphic materials to express and to show our opinion on ideas and also the facts. So, graphic materials or graphic word comes from the Greek word graphein, which means to write, to draw, or to represent by lines. So, the types of graphic materials will be presented by the next presenters.
Here are the types of graphic materials. First is the drawing or illustration. When we say drawings or illustration, it is a non-photographic representation of reality. Illustration can be in a black and white. Drawing or illustration are visual art forms used to create images, but they have distinct purposes and contexts. When we say drawing, it is the act of making marks on a surface to create an image representation or design. While illustration, this is a visual representation used to explain, clarify, or decorate a text or concepts. Drawing can be more open-ended and exploratory. Illustration is typically more purposeful and directed towards enhancing or explaining content. This is the example. Next is characteristics of drawing or illustration. First, giving faces to the characters. Second, visualizing stepwise sets of instructions in a typical manual. And last is making a reader laugh or smile. The characteristic of drawing and illustration are the distinct features and qualities that define these art forms. These characteristics influence how a drawing or illustration is created, perceived, and interpreted. The advantage of drawing or illustration refers to the benefits and positive impacts these practices offer in various fields and contexts. Here are some of the key advantages. First is the enhanced visual communication. It simplifies complex ideas, making them easier to understand. Next is improve observation skills. And the third, creative expression. It allows individuals to express emotions, thoughts, and ideas creatively. Fourth is problem solving. It aids in conceptualizing and visualizing problems and solutions, crucial in fields like engineering and design. And last is better eye-hand coordination. These advantages highlight the versatility and importance of drawing or illustration in various aspects of life, from education and communication to therapy and entertainment. While drawing or illustration offer many advantages, these are also some potential disadvantages to consider. First is time-consuming. Creating detailed and high-quality drawing can be very time-intensive. Second, limited revision capability. Third is subjectively. Different viewers might interpret illustration differently, which can lead to misunderstanding. Fourth is physical limitation. And last is potential for habitual error. These disadvantages highlight some of the challenges associated with drawing or illustration, from practical and economic concerns to health and environment.
Next is chart. Present relationships such as chronologies, quantities, and hierarchies. It means a chart is a graphical representation for data visualizations from past up to now or present. The data is represented by symbols. When we say chronologies, it is the arrangements of events or dates in their occurrence. And quantities, it is amount or number of material or immaterial thing not usually estimated by spatial measurements. And when we say hierarchies, it is the ranking according to power or importance. And the characteristic of charts is usually appear as tables and flowcharts. Next is presents a combinations of pictorial, graphic, numerical, and verbal materials.
So there are 6 types of charts. The first one is flow chart or a process chart. So it shows sequence, procedure, or a flow of a process. The example is the learning process, which is the learning expectation supporting details between the student and the teacher and the assessment. So the next one is classification chart. It shows the classification and categorization of object or event. So from the word classification, the example is we classify the vertebrate animal and invertebrate animals. Next one is tabular chart. So what is tabular chart? It shows data usually numerical and are represented in columns. So the example for the first column is class, the second column number of student, the third column student present, and the last column student absent. Next one is the organizational chart. It shows the structure or chain of command in an organization such as company, government, and so on. So this is the example of organizational chart. So the next one is stream or tree chart. It shows the relationship of data as shown in an hierarchy. So the example of stream or tree chart is the family tree. So the last type of chart is what we call timeline chart. It's chronological relationship between events. So the example is the Philippines, which is the selected events during Rojas, Quirino, Magsaysay, Garcia, Macapagal, Marcos. So these are the president.
So here are the advantages of charts. First is emphasis of key points. Second, comparative analysis. Third, intuitive understanding. Fourth is simplified sharing. And the last is visual appeal. And these are the disadvantage of chart. First is they may require additional explanation. Second, they can be easily manipulated to yield false impressions. Third, they may fail to reveal key assumptions, causes, effects, or patterns. Fourth is difficulty in presenting complex programs and tasks. And last is no scope for alteration or modification.
Diagrams. Diagram consists of line and symbol that show relationships or key features of a process, an object, or an area. Diagram is usually a two-dimensional display which communicate using visual relationships. It is a simplified and structured visual representation of a concepts, ideas, contractions, relations, statistical data, anatomy, etc. It may be used for all aspects of human activities to explain or illustrate a topic. Characteristics of diagram. It is a form of visual formatting device. It displays relationships and abstract information rather than quantitative data. It uses building blocks such as geometrical shapes connected by lines or arrow. Diagrams are simplified figure caricatures in a way intended to convey essential meaning. Diagrams of process are usually numbered in order they can occur, and it gives a visual representation of something in text or oral format. Types of diagrams. Venn diagram show areas of overlap between elements. They serve the graphical organizing, highlighting how the items are similar and different. Next is cycle diagram. Show process with continuous cycle. Is a visual representation of a process in which the step or flow of events interact repeatedly. Next is radial diagram. show relationships of a core element. A graph where values extend out from a central point and therefore demonstrate relationship of constituent. Next is pyramid diagram. Show foundation-based relationship. A simple and easily understood chart used to show hierarchies, workflow, or simple singular data set. The top bar represents the most important or significant factor, while the lower bar represents the sub-factor or subcategories that contribute to it. Next is target diagram. Target diagram, each layer moves closer toward to the center result. It reminds a bit like a flowchart, which moves from the outside to center. Each layer can also be divided into subcategories. Like this example, there is a target is the center. Next, standard unit, and next is life relevancy. Now we're going to advantage and disadvantage of diagram. Advantage of diagram is they communicate information quickly and with less resources. They summarize a large data sets in visual form. They easily compare 2 or 3 data sets. They better clarify trends than do tables. They estimate key values at a glance. Diagrams are easily to understand. You can represent huge volumes of data in a simplified manner. They reveal hidden facts. They quick to grasp and easy to compare. While the disadvantage of diagram provides vague ideas, limited information, low precision, restricts further data analysis, difficulty in presenting complex program and task. Disadvantage is no utility to experts. Minute difference presentation is impossible, can easily misuse. Lack of further analysis can only be used for comparative studies.